Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Putri Balkis binti Amran and I will explain on how to turn on MSB1 and MSB2. Okay, first thing first, we must check the logbook here. Okay, it state the LVSB history. Okay, so we are up to date about the current condition of the LVSB. Maybe there is any maintenance before this. Okay, then we have to make sure all the load. Okay, all the load here. Okay, this is the load. Okay, we must make sure that all the load here is in off condition in MSB1 and MSB2. Okay, we also have to make sure the ACB here in off condition too. Okay, after we make sure the LSB in the off condition, okay, we must turn on the main power supply here. Okay, first we have to, okay, this is for MSB1. Okay, we turn on for MSB1 first. Okay, later we will do the MSB2. Alright, okay, so this is next is the circuit breaker, ACB, circuit breaker, yes. Okay, this is the ACB. We must make sure that the ACB is connect to bus bar. Okay, this is state that the ACB is in isolated condition. Okay, we must make sure the what we call this, the condition is in here. Okay, it state that in the connect condition. Okay, to make that happen, okay, we must use, okay, here inside the ACB. Okay, we open the ACB. Okay, this ACB, we open it, and there is a charging handle that usually placed in this compartment. Okay, then we must, okay, put the charging handle here. Okay, push the button. There's a button here, and we put the charging handle here. Then we must turn it clockwise until the status, okay, we put it here, until the status change to connect condition. Okay, then we remove the handle and put it back in the compartment. Okay, next, okay, this is the state that the ACB is in this charge. Okay, is in this charge, so we must charge it manually by pulling this handle up and down several times until the status change into charge condition. Okay, like this. Okay, look here. Okay, this is state that it's in charge condition. Okay, and then we turn on the ACB. Okay, before we turn on the ACB, okay, make sure to stand on the rubber mat if any accident happen. Okay, there is, okay, let me show you the rubber mat. Okay, this is the LVSB. Okay, there is a rubber mat along the LVSB. Okay, so make sure to stand on the rubber mat. Okay, then, okay, here we can check the status of the power supply. Okay, the indicator light is on, so that's mean that there is a power supply in the LVSB. Okay, next, okay, that's we must turn on the MCCB. Okay, before we turn on the MCCB, we must inform the consumer side first to make sure the safety. Okay, like if there is any maintenance happen in the consumer side or something, to avoid the accident. Okay, any accident. Okay, firstly we must turn on the power factor capacitor bank here. It's in the lowest one of the in the load. Okay, the lowest one here. Then we must check the car. Okay, check the car. Okay, we must turn on all the load here. Okay, we must turn on the MCCB one by one. Then we check the current status here. Okay, supposedly if there is any usage, we can see there is the current state here. Okay, that's all for MSB1. For MSB2, we must repeat the same action. First, we turn on the incoming supply for MSB2 here. Next, we check the incoming supply at MSB2 here. The indicator light is on. We can also check the voltage if there is any voltage in here. Then we turn on here to make sure that the ACB is in connect condition. We grab the pulley that inside the ACB compartment, then we put it here by pushing the button here. Then we turn it clockwise. This is changed to the connect condition. Then we put back the charging handle into the compartment inside the ACB. Then we must make sure that the ACB is in charge position here. So we must pull the handle manually up and down several times until it change to charge. Then we check the status here. The bus bar status already energized. We can also check the voltage. We can also check the voltage to make sure that the voltage is in stable condition. Here, like I said before, we must inform the safety and consumer side first before give them the power supply. Then we can turn on the power factor capacitor bank first, and then turn on all of the load here. Turn on all the supply to give to the consumer. Then we can monitor the current status. So that's all. That's all for the instruction on how to turn on MSB1 and MSB2. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Norman Bezanu, DE190173, and for today's exercise 4, LVSB operation and system, I will show how to do the bus bar coupling between MSB1 and MSB2. So for this activity, we will supply our MSB1 from our MSB2. So before we start, make sure that we have wear our protective glove before we doing this activity for our safety. Now, before we turn off all of our load, we must make sure that we have informed our consumer that we will cut off their power supply before we can proceed with this procedure. After we have their permission to cut off their power supply, now we can proceed with our activity. So, this is our MSB1 that we will turn off for this activity, and this is the ACB that we will do the maintenance at the next video. Now, I will show the procedure to do the bus bar coupling. First, we must turn off all of our load, and this is our load. So we must turn off all of our load, and after that we must turn off the power factor capacitor load after we have turned off the other load. Now, after we have turned off the load, we must make sure that our supply, we must verify our current is 0 ampere since there is no supply. So we can see from the emitter that there is 0 ampere. So after that, we can see at the button that the bus bar is light off, and the bottom one is our supply is still turned on. After we have made sure that the bus bar have the energized, we must turn off our power supply. So this is where we turn off our power supply. After we have turned off our power supply, we must make sure that the power supply has already turned off. So we must check at the light to make sure that all 6 lights have been turned off. Now, after we have turned off our supply, so our MBSB1 have been fully de-energized. Now we can proceed with our ACB. For this activity, I will not show how to do the maintenance for the ACB, but I will show how to take off the ACB from the MSB1. So what we need to do is, first, this is the ACB, and we need to open the cage, and we need to take out this spanner to take off the ACB. So after we have opened the cage, we must turn it off back, and after we have turned it off, we must, okay, this is a spanner, and you can see that here this is the place where we put the spanner. So we must turn the spanner anti-clockwise to open the ACB until the button at the isolated one. So we must push until there is a click, and we have opened the ACB. So we can take off the ACB and close back the cage, and we must put this danger sign to notify others that we will doing the maintenance towards the ACB. Now we have take off the ACB, but but after we have turned off the MSB1, there are still loads that we need to operate, but we cannot supply it directly from the MSB1. So at this point, we're doing the bus bar coupling, and we will supply MSB1 from MSB2. But how to do the coupling? Okay, to do the coupling, first, we can see this button. This is the ACB earlier. So we must push the red button, and while we push the key anti-clockwise to take out the key. After we have take out the key, then we must put it here at the isolator MSB1. So we can see that there is the top, middle, and the bottom one. So the middle one is the key that we have take from the ACB. The top one we will put at the isolator 1, and the key at the bottom we will put at the isolator C2 MSB2. After we have insert the key at the isolator 1 and isolator 2, we need to turn on the supply. But we need to make sure that we turn it from the upstream into the bottom stream, and we need to make sure that we turn on the power supply from the nearest power supply and isolator. So which isolator that we need to turn on first? So for this activity, our MSB2 is the supply, will supply to the MSB1. So we need to turn on the isolator 2 first before we can turn on the isolator 1 from this activity. Okay, to turn on the isolator, we must first push the button until there is the click at the isolator 2. After that, we can push the button at the isolator 1 until there is a click. After we have turned on the isolator 1 and isolator 2, we can monitor the bus bar. Okay. So we can monitor the bus bar that all the colors have been light on. Sorry, the bus bar monitor have been light on. After that, we first turn on the power factor capacitor before we can turn on all the load at the MBSB 1. So that's all how we do the cup. So after we have do the procedure, we can see that MSB1 have been supplied with power from MSB2. So from this activity, we can conclude that our MSB1 and MBSB2 have been operating using the power supply from LVSB to. So that is how we do the bus bar coupling between MSB1 and MSB2. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nashuhani binti Abdul Halim, AE10045, and I will show you how to restore back the normal supply. Okay, first of all, we have to make sure the supply is turned off. Okay, and we turn off this supply. We have to check the status current should be 0 and turn on the isolator. Okay, we twist to okay, we turn on this oscillator. Okay, and check the current status is 0. Okay, then we go to this isolator at MSB2. Okay, we twist to we turn on the isolator. Okay, and we remove this key to MSB to ACB key. Okay, okay, then we remove this key from isolator MSB1 and we put here 2. Okay, okay, we take the ACB key. Okay, and we and the clockwise. Okay, and we open this ACB. Okay, we need to give MSB1 power supply from insulator. Okay, so check the light at indicator. Okay, and check the voltage too. Alright. Okay, we need to open this ACB. This to do the previous steps. Okay, we need to this to turn in clockwise. Okay, okay, we turn this clockwise until the condition is connect condition, and then we save at this. So now the ACB is discharged and on and off. Sorry, okay, and off condition, and we need to charge this. Okay, we need to push. We need to push it until this. Okay, now the ACB is charge condition, and we need to and the ACB in turn on condition. Okay, so we can check this ACB is on condition, and we can look at the indicator. It is voltage supply is on, and this indicator light in light condition. Okay. So now the MSB1 is ready to supply this to feed the we have to notify the consumer, and we have to turn on this supply. Okay, so we turn this on this on twist this at here. Okay, and this shown that it's charged. Okay, we need to turn on the RCCB power and supply. This. After we are on all the load, we check the. Okay, you can check the current status and we can see the increment. After we done the maintenance process, okay, we have to remove the miniature and we have to record all the logbook. Okay, we need to record the logbook. Okay, after we done the maintenance process, we have to close the commit that we supplied previous. That's all from me for restore normal supply LVSB.